So as you saw in the thumbnail, this is day number 14 of the series, and today I put away some time so we can analyze one of our previous fights, note down what we did right and what we did wrong. In this series we're just documenting our life's journey. Currently we are in the amateur boxing chapter. We have 7 fights, 6 wins, 1 draw and 0 losses. But before we start watching one of our previous fights, and because we are going to talk about very technical stuff today, I want to talk with you about how long you need to practice one thing to get good at it. So the number one thing that I struggled the most with was probably my footwork, but I already talked about this in day number 10 of the series, and I also give some advice how you could improve your footwork. So if you want to improve your footwork, make sure to check out day number 10 of the series. But let's come back to the video. So if I would have to choose a second thing that I struggled the most with when it comes to technique, it probably would have been my jab. Because when I started out, I was throwing my jab in a very weird way. I was throwing it like this. Like you can probably tell, like I was doing, my elbow was coming up like this. And I was doing like this the whole time, and here everything is open, and because I'm doing just this, here's everything open too. I'm not doing this, and I struggled with that for a few months until one guy of our gym came up to me and gave me a very simple trick how I can improve my technique from home. But before we go into that, how about just hopping to our PC, analyze one of our previous fights, and then we will come right back to the video. Alright, so I just wanted to stop here. This is the second round and I wanted to show you my notes real quick. So these are my notes that I currently have. So there are a few positive things and a few negative things that we have right here. For example, positive feinting was very good. I could give you a very quick example. So it was this fight right here. Okay, so you see the feinting right there? Boom, boom, out, in again. So you see, I was preparing this beforehand. So right here, I was watching, then I was feinting again, and then, only then, boom, gazelle punch, sidestep, 1-2 again. And this is also the next thing right here. So most of the times I miss the sidestep, I got wrong timing, but in this particular situation the sidestep was actually good, as you saw right here. So I was going in, I was feinting, going in, and then I can see how he is pushing back. So I can see, okay, he's putting pressure on me now, and the best thing for a pressure fighter is just the sidestep. So I go out like this, boom, sidestep, and there you see perfect distance again for 1-2, 1-2. Sadly, it didn't connect it that well how I liked it, but still it did its work. So the next thing is going to be the 6-4 was a very good combination in this fight. Usually I don't do this combination, but for some reason in this fight, just the Holy Spirit came to me and told me just throw a 6-4, and it always landed very clean. So we have 3 highlights where you can see it actually pretty good, and we will skip to these ones. Oh yeah, okay, so here's the first one. As you can see it, boom, boom, perfectly connected. And the next one is a little bit later. There we go. Boom, boom. You see that? 6, wait, hold on. 6, 4, boom, perfectly connected. Okay, hold on. 6, 4, boom. So 6-4 was very good. The sidestep was also very good. And especially the feinting was very, very good. So these are the things I can double down in the future. So of course there are not only positive things in a fight, of course we have some negative things too, and I want to show you some of them real quick. So actually we have to go into round 2 for them. Alright, so here's the first mistake. So you can see how I'm always throwing singular punches. You see that? It's also because I was way too exhausted at that time. But you see, like I'm just waiting, one punch, one punch, one punch. All of them missed. So why is that? Because I wasn't doing any setup punches. My main punch is of course missing when I have not any setup punches before that. For example, I could have thrown a 1-1 and then the uppercut, or 1-1 and then the overhook. So with that being said, throwing singular punches is a very stupid idea because you're just wasting energy at that time. And speaking of energy, in this round I was very low on stamina, and I can show you that real quick right here. You see how slow my punches are? You see? Boom, boom, very slow, very slow, very slow, very slow. You see that? You see that? There was no force behind that. I was just falling over. Whoa, you see how slow that was? This is because of low stamina. So a big thing right now would be to increase stamina and also practice more setup punches before I throw my big right hand or my big uppercut, and double down on feinting, include the 6-4 in my sparring even more, and working on my sidestep that is as good at this section and not as most of the times like here where I miss it all the time. Alright, so this is what I got after watching the 3 rounds. I got a good example for when my hands were down, and I also had a good example for when an overhand landed when the hand of the opponent was down. So let's get into that real quick. So there we have it. So you see he's putting pressure on me, my hands are down, and then he has it very easy to land punches on me. Hold on. Here, here, here. There, my hands are down. Boom, boom. You saw that? His punches weren't that hard, so it didn't do that much of a damage. But this is a very good example for, you see, hands going down, boom, very easy for him to land punches. So the next one is going to be, so when you see his hand is going down, that you can just easily counter him with a simple overhand. So let's look at the example. So you see how his hand goes down? You see that? See that? Boom! Big counter. See that? See that? He's completely open. And even before he was throwing his left hook, here you can perfectly see it. He's completely open on this side. So I'm just waiting for him to come in, and then boom, perfectly. These were some simple examples for the fight, and also I did a little action step plan because this is only the reflecting part. But just reflecting without any action steps in the end is completely worthless. So we have the action steps. Do more sprints when going for a jog, for fighting endurance, so I don't run low on stamina. Next one, more heavy bag Tabata training for shoulder endurance, so I can keep my hands up. Also, use setup punches in sparring, so I avoid just throwing single punches like before, and also use the 6-4 combination in the infight. So as I said, I struggled with my jab for a long time. I was doing it very weirdly, where I put my elbow up like this and I punch like this. I'm open here, I'm open here, I'm open everywhere. I'm just getting punched in the face when I'm doing sparring. So one day after training, one guy came up to me and I told him about my problems with throwing the jab. And then he showed me this simple trick. For this trick, you just go to a wall in your house or any other kind of flat surface that you have. Then you go in your boxing stance and then you try to throw the jab. And every time you would pull up your elbow like usual, you would hit the wall. So by doing this, you are forced to throw your punches in a very straight line. And after you practice this for a couple of times, you go off the wall for a little bit and then start to throw your jabs from there. You will probably notice that your jabs are way faster than before. Do this for a couple of times and then start to watch also your shoulder, if your shoulder is going up and protecting your cheek, and also if your hand drops, if you're pulling back the jab. So all in all, just by doing this simple exercise, you will keep track of your elbow, if it's going up or not. You will keep track if your hand is going down when you pull it back after the jab. And last but not least, you track if your shoulder is also rolling up, protecting your cheekbone while throwing the jab. And this was a very simple exercise. I only did it for like 1, 2 or 3 months, and right after that my jab was nearly perfect. So when we come back to the question I asked you before, how long do we need to practice one thing to be good at it? It could be around 1, 2 or 3 months. It just depends on how good and how well you can practice this one single thing. For practice, you just need repetitions, and with this simple exercise you can get these repetitions as fast as possible. So try it out if you like to. Go to a wall, throw a couple of jabs, watch yourself. If your elbow is in, watch if your shoulder's going up, and also watch if you're pulling down your hand or not. And yeah, with that being said, keep training hard, and I will see you in the next video.